I'm going to demonstrate how to pick up a drop stitch in knitting, which I sometimes do to fix mistakes, but also sometimes it happens on accident. So I'm going to push a stitch off my needle and give it a little wiggle. If you're doing this just to kind of test out how it works on a sample, I would say let it drop down until you get really scared. You want to get that panic over while you're in control and just playing around. So when this happens for real, it won't be nearly as scary. I like to use a crochet hook that's a similar size to my knitting needle, doesn't have to be exact. And what we have here is sort of a ladder of stitches with a loop at the bottom. And if you can't see that loop, wiggle a bit more so it pops down one more. I'm going to catch that loop and then take a deep breath because everything's safe now. Can't get worse at this point, it's okay. If you happen to have made a mistake because you shouldn't be knitting, like it's dark or you're tired or had another glass of wine, what you can do instead of your crochet hook is put some kind of a marker in here and then put it away for the night and pick it up the next day. But for picking up, you catch the loop, and I think of this kind of like climbing a ladder. I'm going to dip my hook underneath the lowest horizontal bar, hold on nice and close, kind of turn it just a little bit to the side so there's a bit more clearance, and pull that bar through the loop, and then repeat. Under the next bar, pull it through the loop, under the next bar, pull it through the loop. Holding on close really helps a lot. And what we're doing with this direction is we're creating knit stitches, so this blends really nicely into my stocking stitch that I already had. If you've got a different stitch pattern like garter stitch or seed stitch, it gets a little more complicated, but it's still absolutely possible. Now when I've gotten to the top, don't have any rungs left, I want to transfer the stitch to my left-hand needle, like so, so that my needle ends up pointing the same direction of the hook, and that'll get the stitch oriented correctly on my needle, and then I'm ready to finish my row. Now, if I were to drop more than one stitch accidentally, what you want to do in that case is put something like a removable stitch marker into all but the leftmost stitch, and then work on picking up the leftmost stitch and then come back to the other one. And that way, even though I tug a little bit on here, it's not going to cause the other stitch to run down farther. It'll feel a little looser on the first one because there is more yarn than this stitch really needs, but as we go into the second one, we can tug a little bit more to redistribute that extra. Kind of take it back. And once they're all the way up on the needle and safe, you can give your fabric just a little kind of stretch, and that'll help get those stitches to even themselves out a little bit more. And then you can finish your row, and it will look like nothing ever happened. So, not even much in the way of like looseness or tightness, so pretty sneaky. If you were on a purl row and dropped a stitch, easiest thing to do is just turn it around, fix it on the knit side, and remember to turn it back before continuing. And if you have a knit purl pattern, I will demonstrate that in another video.